देखिए अभी तो 1 महीना ही हुआ है. I am also figuring out what it means to become a father, but I can tell you that it's the most magical feeling. I've never bothered about my phone, but now I have so many pictures and so many videos of my baby that I just don't. I'm like, मेरा phone का है, phone ना खो जाए. Banaras as a शहर, I fell in love with. It just gave me so much more. The character was something where, like you know, वो एक ऐसा किरदार था जो शमशान घाट में वो चिताएं जलाता. Apart from Richard Chadda and Sanjay Mishra in the film, it was everybody's first film. It's one of the bucket list for every actor to be a part of Sanjay Leela Bhansali film. डांस करने की खुजली मेरे अंदर इतने सालों से थी. जब तौबा तौबा आया, मैंने कहा ये खुजली अब निकलेगी और अच्छे से निकलेगी और मैं पूरी तरीके से करूँगा. मुझे हमेशा पूछते हैं कि यार तुम थक नहीं गए हाउस सिचुएशन. मैंने कहा मैं जिंदगी भर नहीं थक सकता, बिकॉज इट वॉज द फर्स्ट टाइम आई फेल्ट समथिंग वेयर द ऑडियंस वर like you know emotionally मुझसे जुड़ी थी as an actor, and they made something that I think the emotion of patriotism is the emotion of the armed forces, the uniform, the country.
What would you tell the students here today, that what do you do when things don't go your way, Vicky?
ऐसे भी तैसे.
A quiet boy from Masaan's hearts walked into our schools, carrying nothing but honesty in his eyes and fire in his breast. In this decade, he's lived many lives. A soldier who roared for the nation, a revolutionary who carried the weight of history, a lover who danced his way into pop culture, and a king who rose again in Chowda. With strength carved from legacy, and today in 2025, which has been a year of milestones and magic for him, he stands before us not just as an artist, but as proof that destiny bends for those who walk the path with courage. My wonderful friends at Moodai, I present to you the man of a decade, the heart of a generation, Vicky Kaushal. It is the end of the year. I think it's a perfect moment to round up 2025. I think today's conversation is going to be a celebration, and I want to start with Shama. Okay, so let's just get into it, Vicky. One of the biggest hits of 2025, 600 crores in India, over 800 crores worldwide, and the biggest blockbuster in your filmography so far, and may there be many more. When you look at this kind of success, which has got great numbers, is that what defines a good year for you, or has your idea of success evolved now? So,
I think my meaning for success, just to answer your question, success, happiness is truly, to be very honest, is just this, coming and just receiving this love and getting to interact with, seeing all these smiles. It's just that's what makes me truly happy. It's worth all the hard work that you put in. जो सारी मेहनत जाती है, all that thing, you just feel कि हाँ यार ये सही feeling है. When you get to directly interact with them, that's what it's for them we work. आप हमारी ऑडियंस हो, आप राजा हो, हम काम करने वाले हैं, आपको एंटरटेन करने वाले हैं. So हम अपनी तरफ से कोशिश करते हैं. But to end the year with so much love is what just truly makes me feel happy.
आपने कहा कि आप राजा हैं और आप छावा हो. So let's never forget. My God, I think Vicky, there could be you'll agree with me when I say he's a chameleon. He disappears, and that is such a brilliant quality for an actor. But, how do you also ride this actor/star? Because here you are, you're also a star, one of our most bankable stars. And I just feel like every time you choose a film, you choose to submit. And I think ये हम सबको सीखना चाहिए कि कैसे कोई भी चीज़ हो उसमें हम submit करते हैं. क्या ये सीखना चाहेंगे हम आज विकी से, है ना? How do you submit, Vicky?
That was a loaded question. Firstly, the actor and star conversation I always feel कि मैं हमेशा I try to focus on the things that are within my control. The quality of actor that I can be is within my control. The magnitude of star that I can be is not in my control, it's in their control. So that I never worry too much about कि स्टार होगा किस तरीके का स्टार है वो मैं ऑडियंस पे छोड़ता हूँ because they are the star makers. The quality of actor is completely in my control, so I really focus on that. कि यार मैं अपनी तरफ से मैं क्या काम कर सकता हूँ, इस क्राफ्ट को क्या दे सकता हूँ, इस फिल्म को क्या दे सकता हूँ. रेस्ट ऑफ कोर्स एवरी फिल्म कम्स विद इट्स ओन डेस्टिनी. कई बार आपको लगता है कि ये फिल्म बहुत कुछ कर जाएगी और वो नहीं करती. कुछ फिल्मों के साथ आपको लगता है कि यार ये फिल्म बस लोग देखने आ जाए बट दे जस्ट मेक इट समथिंग एल्स ओनली. सो दैट इज completely out of your control. You know, that's destiny, that's audience's love, their affection. So I just focus on that, and I think it was one of my most truest learnings early on in my career was to surrender. Uh, it's a very liberating feeling to do that to anything that you do, any work that you do, not just your profession, but anything that you're doing. To just completely surrender. As an actor, it helps me a lot because you kind of like, you know, शुरुआत में what used to happen is I had done theatre, then auditions then you get parts and smaller parts and art films and then commercial films and bigger parts and, you know, protagonist roles. Every time you feel like कि हाँ यार, और वो कहीं ना कहीं वो being an engineer भी आता है कि यार prep क्या किया, आपने पढ़ाई कितनी की है, how prepared you are for your exam. So you prepare a lot, and I love preparing a lot. But sometimes you have to, after all the preparation is done, you have to just leave it and just surrender, just submit, and just let things do on its own. Like, you know, let the universe process on its own. And I believe a lot in the universe, in karma, in destiny. So I believe a lot in that. Mehnat karo, and then just leave it to God. Is what I.
Thank you for that. That's so beautiful. Also, ये साल जो है बहुत खास साल है for many reasons and we'll come to those. लेकिन सबसे पहले तो it marks a decade since your debut in Masaan, and that film is so important. Any Masaan fans in my audience today?
Really, आप सबने देखी है? Oh, I get very surprised. It's a film very close to my heart, not just because it was the first film that came out, but I truly feel that कि जब भी कोई मुझसे पूछता है कि अगर मेरी कोई एक फिल्म देखना चाहूँ तो क्या होगी, तो मैं हमेशा मसान कहता हूँ because it's just a very pure film. और yeah, so thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. मुझे डर लग रहा था कि पता नहीं कितनों ने देखी भी होगी कि नहीं देखी होगी, but for those who haven't seen it, it's on I think Netflix. कभी वक्त लगे तो देखना.
बहुत ही खूबसूरत फिल्म है और उस फिल्म में and I'll tell you something, the quality of Vicky Kaushal was consistent from Masaan until Chhawa, and I think that is something that I must say. We must give it a round of applause for that because you watch Masaan today and you were as prepared. It's unbelievable because you brought such a fine quality to that Deepak character कि हम आज भी दीपक के लिए रो देंगे. So thank you so much for that. If you were sitting there, you know, on the sets of the ghats of Banaras shooting for that film, would you have ever at that moment thought that life would come out like this for you? What were you thinking then? What were you like 10 years ago, Vicky? Please tell us.
To be very honest ना, 10 साल पहले जब मसान के सेट पे हम काम कर रहे थे बनारस में, we really didn't know कि ये फिल्म रिलीज होगी नहीं होगी. It was like a college project for us. बहुत गरीबी में फिल्म बनी थी, कोई बजट नहीं था हमारे पास उस फिल्म का. And literally, apart from Richa Chadha and Sanjay Mishra in the film, it was everybody's first film. Technicians, actors including. So हम ना बहुत मस्ती में, प्योरिटी में, सही इंटेंशन से काम कर रहे थे. अब क्या दिमाग चलने लग गया है, क्या बजट है, कितना आ सकता है, किस तरीके से मार्केट करना है, ये वो. All because of information which is fair. You have to think about all of that because at the end of the day, it's a business, it's a showbiz. But at that time, you were just free from all those thoughts. And that's why I feel like it was a lot of fun for me because I remember, I don't know how much you'll be knowing these filmy terms, but there's a thing called a steady cam, which is basically a cameraman who can carry the camera and walk around with the camera. You don't have to put it on a tripod. We had that, जो बहुत एक आम बात है फिल्मों में. हमारे पास पूरी फिल्म में बस एक दिन आया था, वो इतना ही बजट था और हमें लगा था हम अवतार बना रहे हैं. सीरियसली दैट डे वी डिसाइडेड कि आज कोई बैठ के सीन नहीं होगा, सब चलते फिरते शूटिंग करेंगे बिकॉज आज स्टडी कैम है हमारे पास. इट वाज दैट काइंड ऑफ अ टाइम. Plus Banaras as a शहर, I fell in love with. It just gave me so much more. The character was something where, like, you know, वो एक ऐसा किरदार था जो शमशान घाट में वो चिताएं जलाता है. Just prepping for that, spending time over there, just gave me so much of a reality check about life. You know, I was 24 back then, and to just go out and straight see that and experience that for about 2 months, it just gave a solid reality check as to what life is eventually. So there's a lot of learning for me from Masaan, and it will always have a very special place in that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's move ahead from Masaan and let's go ahead and say, when did you first feel, and I think Vicky, you represented so many of us, you know, who are just regular people. Okay, so all of us who come to, you know, this city with a dream, हमें कुछ कर दिखाना है, हमें यहाँ पर अपना नाम बनाना है. पैसे बन जाते हैं ना, लेकिन नाम और इज्जत और शोहरत जो होती है वो अलग अलग पड़ाव होते हैं इस जर्नी पे. When did you feel I belong here? This is my home now, and I talk about the movies.
I think मेरी तरफ से ये मेरा घर हमेशा था. From day one मुझे नहीं पता था मैं कितनी मेरी तरक्की होगी, किस तरीके का एक्टर स्टार बनूंगा, क्या मौके मिलेंगे. बट जब से मैं ऑडिशंस के लिए जा रहा था, जब से मैं असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर था गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर में, जब से मेरे पास काम भी नहीं था पर काम ढूंढ रहा था, तब से आई फेल्ट लाइक आई बिलोंग. इसके अलावा मैं और कहीं काम नहीं कर सकता हूँ, कहीं नहीं, और कुछ नहीं होगा मुझसे. अब ये मुझे 4 साल लगते हैं, 2 साल लगते हैं, 10 साल लगते हैं, वो अभी ऊपर वाले पे है. बाकी मेरे लिए तो ये घर था. बट ऑब्वियसली अभी जितना हर फिल्म से जितना प्यार मिलता आया है, जो मौके मिलते हैं इंडस्ट्री से और लोगों से भी, धीरे धीरे हर फिल्म में ये और लगता रहता है कि हाँ यार ये परिवार और गहरा हो रहा है, ये घर और मजबूत हो रहा है. बट मेरी तरफ से तो मेरे लिए ये मेरा घर, मेरा पैराडाइज
हमेशा से था. That's so beautiful and something we can learn actually, because हम हमेशा दूसरों से एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि वो हमें एक्सेप्ट करे. पहले हमें खुद को एक्सेप्ट करने की बहुत ज़रूरत है कि हाँ यार मैं घर आ गया हूँ. So that's beautiful. Also I think the girls screamed congratulations because of this year for Vicky, because this is also the year you became a father. इसी के लिए आप कंग्रेचुलेट कर रहे थे. चलिए हमारी ट्यूनिंग तो एक ही है. तो मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी विकी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कंग्रेचुलेशंस.
Thanks, man.
हाउ हैज दिस शिफ्टेड योर वर्ल्ड व्यू? और मैं पूछना चाहूंगी कि क्या ऐसे होने से आपके आइडियाज बदल जाते हैं कि लेगेसी क्या होनी चाहिए, डिसिप्लिन क्या होना चाहिए, आदतें शायद बदल जाती हैं क्योंकि एक सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ जाता है, राइट? या फिर रिस्क क्या हम थोड़े से कम लेंगे या ज्यादा लेंगे? सो क्या होता है टू अ मैन हु बिकम्स अ फादर?
देखिए अभी तो 1 महीना ही हुआ है. I am also figuring out what it means to become a father, but I can tell you that it's the most magical feeling. It's a feeling sometimes I feel like I can't describe in words what you truly feel. You know, of course there are those beautiful adjectives that you can attach to this feeling of becoming a father, but what you truly feel is a mix of so many things. You know, sometimes you obviously go through that. Okay, you have to lead by example. So there are these moments of introspection that okay, now you need to lead by example. So watch what you're doing. Sometimes you're just like, देखी जाएगी यार, सब हो जाएगा, अच्छा ही होगा भी, ठीक है, सुधरने की जरूरत नहीं है. But overall, it's just like, you know, you just feel like this time all of a sudden has become so priceless. Your center changes. I feel like my center has changed, and there's always something calling me back. So that is there. For the first time, I'm very scared कि मेरा phone ना खो जाए. I've never bothered about my phone, but now I have so many pictures and so many videos of my baby that I just don't. I'm like कि मेरा phone कहाँ है, phone ना खो जाए. So it's just, you're just waiting for that time, you know, with your child, and It's just very, very precious, and it truly has been my biggest blessing of my life, and God has been kind.
Well, thank you again and congratulations. Thank you for sharing. I want to take you back to college. आपने कहा आप खुद इंजीनियरिंग कर चुके हैं, तो मैं पूछना चाहूँगी कि इंजीनियरिंग के दौर में विकी कौशल कैसे थे? अपने बारे में बताइए. फोकस थे, अच्छे स्टूडेंट थे?
यार ये सवाल देखो. I was my field was electronics and telecommunications. I'll tell you what happened with me truly. So मेरे फैमिली में कोई इतना पढ़ा लिखा नहीं था, इंजीनियर वगैरह कोई नहीं. So मुझे सबने बोला था कि यार इंजीनियरिंग में केटी बहुत आम चीज़ है यार, कोई बात नहीं अगर केटी आ गई तो I was very relaxed going into engineering की कोई बात नहीं. The two toughest subjects for me were mechanics and computer programming. जैसे ही वो फ्लो चार्ट एंड ये सब आता था मैं बहुत डर था. So first semester I got 2 KTs which was mechanics and computer programming. मेरे चाचा जी रहते हैं गुड़गांव में, वो इंजीनियर है, मैं भूल गया था. उन्होंने फर्स्ट सेम के बाद मेरे फैमिली से पूछा कि हाँ भाई बेटे के क्या नंबर आए. वो कुछ नहीं, वो कह रहा है केटी नॉर्मल है, 2 आ गए. चाचा जी कह रहे हैं कौन सी नॉर्मल बात है, ये कोई नॉर्मल बात नहीं है, नहीं आनी चाहिए. और फिर उन्होंने मेरे डैड और मॉम ने पकड़ा मुझे कि ये क्या बात हुई, ये नॉर्मल है, फेल होना कब से नॉर्मल हो गया. उसके बाद से कभी केटी नहीं लगी. बट आई थिंक for me those 4 years in engineering, doing engineering, I've made some lifelong friends. Those friends, after them, are working in like New York, Boston, they're in Mumbai, all parts of the world, and we are still very, very thick together. And I had the best time during my engineering days. Like I always feel like यार सबको engineering करोगे किसी है, बाद में बन चाहे जो मर्जी है. I don't know. It's just please यार seriously बात है ना. But I really feel that because my dad used to always say. So my dad was an MA in English literature and all of that, but then he wanted to be a professor all his life कि मुझे professor बनना है, पर कभी बन नहीं पाया क्योंकि financially वो support नहीं था पंजाब पे उनकी family से. He came, struggled in Bombay and whatever, his life took him his own way. He said कि यार मेहनत करने की आदत जो पड़ती है ना तब ग्रेजुएशन में, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन में, वो काम आ जाती है. उनको कभी इंग्लिश का इतनी काम नहीं आई, वो पढ़ाई काम नहीं आई, मुझे आज शायद फॉर्मूला काम नहीं आ रहे. बट वो इंजीनियरिंग के ग्राइंड में ना एक कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग होती है जो मुझे लगता है बहुत ज़रूरी होती है. दैट स्टेज विद यू लाइफ लॉन्ग. ऑफ कोर्स when I say engineering, I don't mean IIT because IIT is like the sigma of engineering. So आप generally society में सुधार कर रहे हो तो आप please you stick to being an engineer, I hope. But otherwise I just felt like those 4 years were a lot where I got to kind of मेरी personality development वहाँ हुई थी इन 4 सालों से.
I think discipline की
practice हो जाती है. I was a fairly decent student. In my final year, I got I was distinction pass with a job letter in hand. So I did all my things that you had to do during engineering, right? But I was also a very last minute study kind of a guy. Well, every semester I used to have a lot of fun for 2-3 months, and then 1 month, I don't know, यहाँ पे भी PL मिलता है, like preparatory leave before an exam. You get that?
No.
नहीं.
कोई कह रहा है Masaan.
ये अलाउड है ऐसे बोलना? नहीं, पर हमें मिलता था, PL मिलता था, तो उसमें मैं बड़े क्रैश कोर्सेज करता था और फिर बाद में एग्जाम्स पे पास हो जाता था. बट आई थिंक ओवरऑल it was a fun time, it was a good time, or sometimes scary time also, vivas or exams ke time. But overall, I always look back to my engineering days and I have a smile on my face. Those 4 days were very essential in my character building.
A lot of students will get into their placements, and I think it's very interesting. क्योंकि हमारी भी तो placement होती है. हम पहले ही दिन पे हमें कोई नहीं कहता इस इंडस्ट्री में कि आइए, ये स्टेज है, बैठिए, ये माइक है, पढ़िए. तो हम सब ने बहुत सारे दूसरे काम किए हैं. हमने पेटियाँ खोली हैं, कॉस्ट्यूम्स निकाले हैं, हमने किसी एक्टर की मदद की है, और आपका भी यही सफर रहा क्योंकि आप गैंग्स ऑफ वसेपुर पर, anybody watch that film, Gangs of Wasseypur? Yeah, the audience. I love them. Do you know Vicky was an AD on the sets of Gangs of Wasseypur? Would you like to ask him how he was then or what did he learn? Please remember line.
This was 2010. 2009, I finished my graduation as an engineer. 2010, I was an assistant director on Gangs of Wasseypur as an intern. It was for about 4 months that we were in Banaras shooting for that film, and I was the 10th assistant director. कि जिसका तुम हो पर तुम नहीं भी वो वाला है. So, but Gangs of Wasseypur was my film school. To be working with Anurag sir, that set of actors, Manoj Bajpayee, P.S. Mishra, Richa Chadda, Jaideep Navar, Nawaz Nai, Rajkumar Rao, many others, many Pankaj Tripathi. It was just fabulous to just see them so close that, and that was again a film made with very limited resources. कोई ज़्यादा वैनिटी नहीं होती थी, बहुत ज़्यादा ये नहीं कि सेट्स पे काम हो रहा है, रियल लोकेशन पे काम हो रहा है, रियल चाय के ठेले ट्रैफिक में जुगाड़ करके आधे टाइम तो कैमरा छुपा के शूट हो रहा था. But I learned so much during that process, and that became my film school. Like, it was literally like me, like it was like a mechanic learning straight at the garage. For me, that it was that. Overall, I think that gave me a lot of cue for what is next for me as an actor, because I always wanted to become an actor, but I wanted to see how a film जो एक script पे आती है of about 200 pages, how that just becomes something important, you know. There I realized that, how much importance theatre has in an actor's life when I interacted with those actors who had such rich theatre backgrounds. So then after that, I was like, if you want to face camera, you have to know what you're doing. You can't just come in front of the camera, you need to know that there's a skill attached to it, there's a craft attached to it, और आपको ये पूरा सीखना पड़ेगा. Some people are born actors, natural actors, and maybe you have that in you, but आपको तराश के, you have to be so confident कि this toolbox is there with me. You want me to be this character, I know how to reach there. And it's not a matter of fluke. It's not a matter कि यार देखते हैं लग गया तो लग गया. It can't be that. वो एक दो फिल्म पे काम करेगा, but not for a career. So I was like, let me give time. And in my head, I was like, okay, I will need time for prep for at least 3 to 4 years. Then only I will think about coming in front of the camera. And I gave those 3-4 years to just do theatre. In Mumbai, I was part of Nasir Saab's theatre group, Manav Kaur's theatre group, all these little theatre groups which do plays at Prithvi and at CTAs in Bombay. We used to travel with shows in Delhi, Kurukshetra, parts of India. So I've just spent that time before even giving my first audition. I was like, I only want to do theatre and not focus on coming in front of the camera and doing films, because I realized that with films, आपके पास trial and error का मौका नहीं रहता है. Day one, film one, first show, people can see that if this person can act or not. And if they've realized and they've judged that this person can't act, it's very difficult to get another chance or a better chance than that. So I gave that time. And strangely, a very strange thing happened with me. 2009, after graduating, I enrolled myself to an acting institute. Over there, the first thing they asked me was, just as an exercise, कि सब एक दूसरे को जान ले. They were like, okay, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? This is July 2009. And for me, I hate this question personally, because I don't like to think that way, that I should know where am I seeing myself 5 years from now, because I will only think of myself in 5 years जितनी मेरे में हिम्मत है imagine करने की. But maybe the God or universe has planned far bigger things for me. Why should I limit that? So I never think like that. I just focus on right now, am I giving my 100% or not? तो मैंने बस ऐसे ही बोल दिया कि यार 5 साल में ना मेरे फिल्म का पोस्टर लगा हुआ थिएटर पे और मेरी फिल्म आएगी, रिलीज होगी. Without knowing कैसे होगा, क्या होगा. This was July 2009, and July 2015, Masaan's poster was on a theatre near me, and that made me believe that, I believe a lot in manifesting also. And I feel like fearlessly manifesting and putting the right work in and keeping the right intention, नियत साफ रख के मेहनत करके, if you do that, then वो हो जाता है. कहीं ना कहीं तो बैठ जाता है. I was lucky that वो हो गया. But I think for me, those formative years of being an assistant director on Gangs of Wasseypur really shaped my foundation, right? Where I felt कि यार हाँ यार जल्दबाजी मत करो. Your prep has to be solid. Your tayari has to be solid to come in front of the world and say that, okay, take me seriously as an actor.
Thank you for sharing. And I think that was so lovely to, you almost went back in time and looked at you, very differently because I feel कि लोगों की memory इतनी short होती है. अक्सर लोगों को सिर्फ stardom दिखता है. लेकिन ये जो journey in 2009, just imagine, we're sitting in 2025. It hasn't happened overnight. So yeah, so just wanted to say thank you for sharing. I do want to talk about this quality that you have, when it's a film like Masaan, you're playing a fictional character. But when you're playing Sardar Udham or Sam Manekshaw, or when you're playing Chhawa, these are all characters जो history में डूबे हुए हैं, हमारे मिट्टी से जुड़े हुए हैं, और इनको लेकर हमारे देश को बहुत सारी feelings हैं. They are people that we love. So how does your approach differ, Vicky, जब एक fictional character हो versus एक ऐसा किरदार हो जो पब्लिक मेमोरी में आज भी जगे हुए हैं, उनको सुरक्षित रखने की भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है आप पर?
Firstly, as an actor, I think I'm really drawn towards people who are really the unsung heroes. I don't know, those stories, their life stories, their achievements really attract me a lot as an audience and as an actor. चाहे वो शहीद सरदार उधम सिंह जी हो, भगत सिंह हो, सब जानते हैं. पर उधम सिंह जी की कहानी बहुत लोगों को नहीं पता थी, स्पेशली आउट ऑफ पंजाब नहीं पता थी. मी बीइंग अ पंजाबी, I used to always feel कि यार ये कहानी दुनिया भर में क्यों नहीं है कि the person who avenged the Jallianwala Bagh massacres, who waited for 21 years to avenge that. Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, again a story that I've heard from my parents कि यार 71 war में when they used to be in Punjab, तब Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw was the army chief and how he made us win the war. छत्रपति संभाजी महाराज, छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज महाराष्ट्र के बाहर भी दुनिया भर में सब जानते हैं, पर छत्रपति संभाजी महाराज की कहानी, उनकी सैक्रिफाइस को बहुत ज़्यादा लोग महाराष्ट्र के बाहर नहीं जानते थे. कड़वा सच तो वही था. So I really get drawn towards such characters, and these characters come with a lot of like a sense of responsibility. उसमें भावनाएं जुड़ी होती है, बहुत sensitive material होता है. You have to be true to it. Your intentions have to be pure towards it. And you can't take those characters, those people lightly when you're portraying them. Because for me, whenever I'm wearing an army uniform in a film, my sole focus is कि यार a real army man should look at this film, watch this film and think कि हाँ यार, like it's a touch. They were not serious about it. Especially with a film like Chhawa, I was more focused on how the Maharashtrians would feel about it. They should feel कि हाँ यार, you gave a fitting tribute to his legacy. Similarly, be it Puri, be it Sardar Udham Singh ji. So I think that sense of responsibility also adds that healthy pressure on me to deliver my best, to give my absolute best. And that's what I try and do. It makes me grow as an actor myself, because always in the beginning of such roles, मैं बहुत डरा होता हूँ. मुझे लगता है कि यार मुझसे नहीं होगा, मुझे बहुत जूते पड़ेंगे, पता नहीं कुछ गलत कर बैठूंगा मैं. I don't know, there are sentiments attached ना, तो आपको लगता है कि यार you can't even like हल्का सा भी आप lightly नहीं ले सकते इसे. So I think those roles also have kind of immensely added a lot of confidence in me, that okay, you were able to do this, you were able to do this, you can probably push yourself a little bit more. So I'm very lucky that the directors had trust in me, put faith in me for kind of delivering of those characters, and I'm very, very happy, and a big thank you to the audience who really gave me that love and confidence that हम जाते रहे. So thank you for that.
For my next question, I have a question for the audience. Are you ready? How's the jokes? ये मैं कह रही हूँ लेकिन ये जो एक सवाल किसी ने प्रेप में किया, हम एक दूसरे को जानते नहीं हैं, लेकिन ये जो हमारा कनेक्शन बना है इस डायलॉग की वजह से बना है. And I think that's what I'm trying to say with my next question. With Uri,
How did you think that that question became part of our vocabulary so easily? You know, क्या है इन शब्दों में? How is the Josh?
Honestly speaking, I have no idea. It's for the audience to answer that question because this line, "How's the Josh?" Haisat belongs to the audience. They made it an emotion, and thank you for doing that. मुझे हमेशा पूछते हैं कि यार तुम थक नहीं गए हाउस द जोश से? मैंने कहा मैं जिंदगी भर नहीं थक सकता because it was the first time I felt something where the audience were like emotionally मुझसे जुड़ी थी as an actor and they made something that which we tried to create in the film. It's I think the emotion of patriotism is the emotion of the armed forces, the uniform, the country. It all comes together in that one line. So it genuinely belongs to the people of India and all Indians across the globe that line became an emotion.
It's such an emotion, that line.
And you know what's amazing about this line? And here's my 2 cents. कि ये ऐसी एक line नहीं है जो पहले exist करती थी. You know, it's not like when we say Vande Mataram, you know, every Indian feels a certain way. This is a line that was written in a specific context. It doesn't even have
Any of our country's name in it, but it still evokes the country, and I feel that that's the win of writing. और writers की ये power है कि वो एक साधारण सी लाइन अगर देख ले, हाउस द जोश तो कोई भी बोल सकता है, लेकिन उससे इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जब आपने लगा दिया,
it just becomes an anthem. So I think it's amazing. Let's talk about another sort of anthem right now, which is, I think, when you decided to dance on Tauba Tauba. I love these guys. You guys are my favorite audience ever. Because
मैं कैसे बताऊँ यार क्या हो गया था? मतलब I remember the day that song broke on reels. Vicky, this is me. Vicky Kaushal. Vicky.
and she's doing
I almost feel like saying sorry for that.
Never. But, that was a completely different Vicky. We've never seen him do that. And you are having so much fun. I have you today, and we must go back to that moment.
Nobody can plan around.
You have the best audience. You know what's coming. It's going to happen with you guys. Hang on. Let's go watch it a little bit. Did you know that this would become such a pop culture phenomenon?
To begin with, I would like to say कि डांस करने की खुजली मेरे अंदर इतने सालों से थी, पर मुझे मसान मिल जाती थी, फिर उरी मिल जाती थी, फिर संजू मिल जाती थी, और ये खुजली बढ़ती ही जा रही थी कि मैं नाचूंगा कब. And another trivia, since we were discussing my college days and engineering days, in my engineering days, all 4 years, every year, I used to take part in inter-college dance competitions. Every year. मुझे जब मैंने डिसाइड किया था कि यार मैं एक्टर बनूंगा, तो मुझे ये पता नहीं था कि मैं एक्टर कैसे बनूंगा, पर मुझे ये लगा था कि यार इंजीनियरिंग में डांस तो बड़ा किया है मैंने. ये नहीं पता था कि 10 साल लग जाएंगे एक गाना मिलने के लिए कि डांस ही नहीं करा रहे हैं मुझसे, डांस ही नहीं करा रहे. फिर एक जब तौबा तौबा आया, मैंने कहा ये खुजली अब निकलेगी और अच्छे से निकलेगी और मैं पूरी तरीके से करूँगा. So we wanted to make a dance number for the film, and I've always been a fan of Punjabi songs. And Punjabi artists. Me and Karan used to be in touch with Karan Aujla, and one day he happened to be making a trip to Bombay, and I called him over to home, and we were just chilling, and he's like, "Yeah, I made these 2 songs," and we were looking for songs for our film, and he played Tauba Tauba. I am not the producer, I can't make promises, but I was like, great song, bro, great song, it's the vibe. And Jesse, he left the house and I was like, picked up on that one. I'm like, bro, तुमने कोई गाना सुना है? Please ये गाना सुनो, बहुत अच्छा है. And that's how the song became a part of it. And I feel very happy, like an artist like Karan Aujla's first Bollywood number became Tauba Tauba, and I got to be a part of it. Bosco's choreography, it's all here, the team that came together. And yeah, to be very honest, we just went into that song, just wanted to make it as special as possible, but we had no clue कि ये इतना special बन जाएगा. And again, thanks to the audience, you guys made it what it was. I always feel like, you know, in this cinema, songs are the best way to communicate with an audience because it's part of our culture. You know, we are Indian people are people who love to celebrate, और हम बस हमें ये होता है कि गाना बजाते हो, like, you know, dance come, and I'm as much part of the audience. So I feel very happy that sometimes when Tauba Tauba becomes a part of the celebration, I really enjoyed seeing people trying to crack the step and making new steps out of it. My mom still tries to learn it, and yeah, she does it way better than me, although it's a completely different step. She does it way better, but I'm just very happy and very thrilled and very grateful for what that song became.
Thank you for that, and थोड़ा तौबा तौबा हो जाए थोड़ी देर में. ऐसी कई सारी फिल्में हैं, ये भी हैं विकी, लेकिन अगर एक रोल आप कहते हैं has transformed you, या तो personally या artistically, तो आज आप कौन सा रोल चुनते हैं?
What I don't know, I just so many memories attached to every character you played, and every character has given you so many different things. Masaan मेरे लिए हमेशा special रही for all the points that we discussed. That it was for me in some way it was life changing for me as a person. So Masaan हमेशा मेरे लिए special रही. Uri हमेशा special रहेगी because, like I said, it was the first time I felt like the audience was directly interacting with me. Chhava हमेशा special रहेगी because it's the biggest blockbuster of my filmography. Sanju हमेशा special रहेगी because got to work with a filmmaker like Rajkumar Hiral, who's one of my favorites. And also उसमें मेरे साथ पहली बार हुआ था कि किसी ने मुझे एक एयरपोर्ट पे पीछे से बुलाया था, एक कमली, तो पहली बार मेरे साथ हुआ था कि किसी ने मुझे किरदार के नाम से बुलाया था. And it was, I don't know, it was a moment which I'll never forget. It was just special. Every film, like, you know, Sam Bhavduraj, मुझे आर्मी के साथ इतना interact करने को मिला that I'm so blown away by what they really do. And I feel like the one thing that I take a huge pride in, that I have some dear friends in the armed forces now because of the roles I've gotten to play in my filmography, and I take huge pride in that, for those friendships. So yeah, every film in its own way. I'll tell you one name that you didn't take, but it's very special to me, is Manmarziyaan.
It's very special. I love that.
It's a role very special. I mean, being a Punjabi, it was, वो मैं हमेशा कह रहा था कि उसमें भी मेरा नाम विकी है. I'm playing a DJ with like blue mohawk hair, but again Anurag Kashyap, who could have thought of it. But that I always feel is my alter ego, and that's why I had so much fun doing it, because that is somebody who there is a part of me that is like that character, but I can never be that character out in the open. शर्म और decency पे चलते, but उसमें मुझे वो explore करने में मिला, that वो बेशर्मी and that Punjabiness ना, वो I had a lot of fun, and we shot in Amritsar, which is one of my favorite places. So every second day I would be in the Gurkha temple just praying, and that, I don't know, the whole experience was, and it was the first time where my head actually felt like a surrender, the thing that we discussed before, because मैंने बाल नीले कर लिए थे. अनुराग सर ने बोला तू पंजाब आ जा, 3 दिन में शूट है. मुझे इतना पता था लव ट्रायंगल है, पंजाब में बेस्ड है, स्क्रिप्ट में तुझे सुनाता, तो मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि होने क्या वाला है. तो मैं पहुंच गया हूँ, और एक दिन पहले हमें जब स्क्रिप्ट सुनाई, अगले दिन शूट है, तो मुझे ऐसा हो गया कि अरे अच्छा ऐसा है, अच्छा वैसा है. तो मैं डर गया था कि ये तो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स कैरेक्टर है, और कॉम्प्लेक्स फिल्म है, इट्स नॉट अ वेरी सिंपल फिल्म. So that day I was like, let me just surrender to him. He's a director who I can trust. So let me just surrender to him. It was the first time I understood the joy of surrendering. Yeah, don't go into it land. You are a Punjabi, to tension मतलब संभाल लेगा, तो पंजाबी ने संभालेगा, बाकी let the director play with you. So yeah.
I must say that soundtrack pierces my heart. Like Trewala Shade, for example, is one of my favorite songs. And if you're yet to discover it, trust me, it's a gift I'll give you. Hanju on the Darya, for example. My God.
It's also one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Amit Trivedi, and I'm very happy that, it's going to be that song.
मुझे जानना है कि अब विकी कौन से पहाड़ अभी भी लाने बाकी हैं? And what are the things on your bucket list? Like, what does an actor who's done come a fair way, done quite a bit, and some people would say, wow, this is great. But I know you, I know you're a restless sort. What are you itching to do?
I want to be somewhere in life where we look back to this session and I can still say ki I met you guys only at the beginning of my career. So I just want to, I have a way bigger dreams, way bigger aspirations. And I feel कि हमेशा सपने वैसे होने चाहिए कि जो सुन के ऐसा लगे कि पागल हो गया. अगर वो सपने नहीं है ना तो फिर आप सपने नहीं देखते. सपने वो होने चाहिए कि जो तुम्हें भी डराए और वो लॉजिकली सेंस ना हो. अगर आपको वो लॉजिकली सेंसिबल लग रहा है तो आप डर के सपने देख रहे हो, आप बिना डरे नहीं देख रहे सपने, है ना. और एक मैंने बहुत प्यारी सी छोटी सी फिल्म की थी, इसका नाम था लव पर स्क्वायर फुट ऑन नेटफ्लिक्स. इसमें एक बहुत प्यारी लाइन थी जो मेरे साथ हमेशा रह गई थी कि यार हम मिडिल क्लास लोगों के ना एक ये होती है कि हम सपने खुल के नहीं देखते, सपने भी हम मिडिल क्लास देखते हैं. तो उसमें एक लाइन थी कि अरे मिडिल क्लास सपने तो खुल के देख ले. सो वो हमारे बचपन है, तो वो करना चाहिए. और एक छावा में एक लाइन थी टुवर्ड्स द एफसी, मन के जीते जीत मन के हार गए जो बिन लड़े उन पर है धिक्कार, उन पर है धिक्कार जो देखे न सपना, सपनों का अधिकार असल अधिकार है. Keep dreaming and keep trying to achieve your dreams because that is truly in your control and that is the answer you need to give to yourself. That is truly where you will face yourself in the mirror and be like, are you on your way? Are you still in touch with your dreams? And that only you know. वो झूठ आप अपने आप से नहीं बोल पाओगे. Make sure you always say that, yes, I remember them and I'm on my way to them. I may not have achieved them now, but I'm on my way.
How beautiful. Thank you. That was beautiful. We do know currently आप बहुत busy हैं. आप shoot कर रहे हैं संजय लीला बंसाली साहब की Love and War. There's Ranveer and Alia alongside you. I know that you can't tell us anything.
मैं
Because
कहानी बता देता हूँ आपको. आप मुझे अभी टिकट के प्राइस दे.
नहीं, लेकिन एक बात तो पूछना बनता है कि what is it like being on that set?
It's amazing. It's one of the bucket list for every actor to be a part of Sanjay Leela Bhansali film. I've admired his films. I've admired him as a filmmaker, and I think he's truly a unique voice from India, who has a vision, has a canvas, who tells stories in ways that nobody else can. He truly is a master in the craft of filmmaking. And I feel blessed that in my just 10 years of my career, I'm getting to be a part of his film. They're two fantastic actors and I'm being so yeah, we are filming right now. We are going to tape and filming it, and we'll see you next year.
Wow, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. You know, there are students here, and I love it when we're with students because ultimately, yeah, honestly, you are the future, guys. You're the future India. And I hope कि आप भी एहसास होता है. जब लोग मुझे पूछते थे जब हम स्कूल कॉलेज में थे हम बड़े लाइटली लेते थे, बट ट्रूथ तो यही है कि ये है कल का हिंदुस्तान. So please understand that, guys. Give yourselves a round of applause because you are the future.
Can I tell you very honestly, ये कल का हिंदुस्तान वाले ने तब था जब हम कॉलेज में थे. To be very honest, this is the age group that is making the Hindustan right now. So it's you guys right now, at this very moment. It's not even like the future, it's right now.
How beautiful. और अक्सर ये दुनिया जो है आगे चलकर बहुत प्रेशर, कंपैरिजन, नॉइज, कभी-कभी चीजें हो जाती है जो हमें पसंद ना हो. And you've been through all of it, but you've done it with so much grace because I'm sure it's not been a bed of roses. So what would you tell, the students here today that what do you do when things don't go your way, Vicky?
ऐसे भी तैसे मैं ये बोलता हूँ मैंने कहा देख मेरा एक सिंपल लाइफ में फंडा है. मेरी नीयत साफ है. I have not meant bad for anybody. I have not tried to hurt anybody. I'm giving my 100% to my work. I don't need to fear anything in life. Life is a pack of cards dealt to everybody. Those set of cards are not going to suit you all the time. You got to play the game. Stop cribbing, stop complaining, You have these set of cards, play with the set of cards. The good thing about this game is that set keeps changing. Depending on what intention, your hard work and everything, that set of cards will keep changing. Don't fear anything. Anything that you feel that you can achieve, you can own, you can be there, you literally can be that. There's nothing in the world stopping you from achieving that apart from you. Go for the kill fearlessly. That's what I believe in. Keep your intentions right. Niyat saaf rakho, mehnat karo. Everything will come your way. Is what I feel. And live it up.
That is amazing.
Just to fill me, just to fill me.